Welcome into another episode of Odd Man Rush. Hope you're having a great summer. I'm Will Highland with Kyle Diezel, as always. We're coming to you late August. Haven't done a show in over a month, but happy to be here. Happy to talk some hockey tonight and cool everyone off. Speaking of the weather, Kyle, can we get a weather report out of Beantown?
Yeah, it is probably about probably like mid to early 80 degrees here. Nothing too crazy, nothing like it was earlier last week, but it does feel like it's starting to fall. But I could be wrong. We could get another heat wave here, but could use some rain. I will admit that we could use some rain.
Yeah, it's pretty dry, pretty dry. And hey, we'll be talking football with Cam pretty soon, next 10 days or so. Yeah, it's certainly fall out. It feels like it a little bit. But yeah, I feel like we definitely need the rain. Um, it hasn't been raining hockey news though, since the last time we talked was on July 8th. And it's that was about 7 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, something like that. And it hasn't really been a summer full of off-season moves. Really outside of free agency, there hasn't been much to talk about. It wasn't like the summer of 2022 when you had the Kachuk trade and free agency kind of lasted into the fall. And then last year we had the Swayman holdout that was kind of looming over the Bruins and stuff. But like we haven't had like any huge hockey news since early July. Um, so I thought today, Kyle, we could discuss sort of the upcoming season since there's not much else going on. And what we want to do in the second half of the show, just for our listeners, is we want to make a USA Olympic team based on the orientation roster that came out, which I talked about on my solo pod. But Kyle, I sent you this off camera earlier today. Hockey News put out something today on social that said which non-playoff team from last year has the best chance to make the playoffs this year. And so that's where I want to talk um, to begin the show. So, like, do you have any that immediately jump out to you that's like they are definitely going to be back? Or do you think we're going to look at the same 16 teams, 8 months from now?
Great question. I mean, I was looking at what was sent over to me, and to be honest, well, I don't see any of these teams going up there. I'm going to be completely honest. The rare team I see right now would be potentially the Detroit Red Wings. I can see them potentially making a jump up, especially with who they just acquired this offseason? New goaltender. But I did like their style. I am still concerned if they can make that next level because remember, you're also fighting the Metropolitan here for two wildcard spots. As we know, they're not taking down Tampa. They're not taking down Florida Panthers, and they're not taking down the Maple Leafs. So right now it's going to be a battle of those two spots. I don't know if they are one of those teams that can do it. Columbus had a great run last year. I just don't see them getting that far. Everyone else on this list, I think, is still a bottom feeder team. Maybe the Bruins, but I don't think they have what they quite need to get back there. Yes, it is some great draft this year, but I don't think they have enough to make it back. I think they're still another 2 or 3 years out to be another contender.
Yeah, so well, I'll stick with. We mostly talked about the Eastern Conference there. I mean, I think in the West, I'm looking at those Western teams. For those of you who didn't see the graphic, it's fine. Kyle did a great job summarizing it, but I'll take it even a step further by just listing all of the ones on this list, like Columbus, Detroit, the Islanders, Anaheim, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Buffalo, Seattle, Boston, Nashville, um, and Chicago. Now, the one that I don't think ended up on this list, since I only see it going down to 31, and I know there's 32 teams. So the Rangers must be on that list somewhere. And there must be more teams on this list since that's only 10 teams. But like, I know Calgary didn't make the playoffs. Um, I know that the Rangers didn't, for example. So like, there's more than the ones that were on their graphic. But like you brought up Detroit first, and you're thinking of John Gibson. He actually left
Yep.
Anaheim, went to Detroit. I think Detroit was just really they were too streaky last year. They'd win like 7 out of 8, and then they'd lose like 5 out of 6. And the Bruins were kind of like that in the middle of the year. And you can't do that in this modern NHL in the hard cap, right?
Mhm.
Like, so I think the problem is with some of these teams, and I can pull up some of the rosters if we've forgotten, because honestly, like as we said, there's been so much movement on the teams. But like I look at Detroit, and like I like Lucas Raymond, I like Dylan Larkin, I like DeBrincat. Kane's a little bit older. Um, and then their defense is pretty good at the top of the roster, but like I'm not enamored with the Red Wings top to bottom. Like I think they're better than the Bruins. I just think they're better than the Blue Jackets. I think some of those other Eastern teams that we've talked about, but I'm not like doing cartwheels
No,
over the Red Wings. Like, and I think if there was a team you would point to and be like, well, they have to be better. It would be the New York Rangers. Like we've spent a lot of time over the last 4 years talking about the New York Rangers, but like objectively, their roster is too good to suck again. Like, like they have one of the best goaltenders in the world. So like, and they have a pretty good top six, and they also went out and spent big in free agency on defense with Gavrikov. So like I think if there's a team that I look at, it's the New York Rangers. I think they have to be better, and I would not be shocked if they displaced a team like Ottawa, for example, or Montreal, for example. Like I always have these conversations, and I'd be interested to hear what you think. It's not always about who's going to make it, because if they're going to have to make it, someone else is going to have to not. So maybe the better question is there a team that made the playoffs last year in the Eastern Conference that we don't think is going to make it again?
ooh, that's tough. I mean, looking at who's in the Eastern Conference, I potentially think the Capitals may not make it back this upcoming year. I think last year was just a great fluke or a run, I could say. I mean, was it Thompson played out of his mind in net, and that's what really got him to playoffs. I mean, yes, I get it. It's Ovechkin's great career, all-time goal score leader, but I don't see them making it back. I just think last year was a fluke. I hope they prove me wrong, but I think they're the team that takes a step back for teams that made in the playoffs. And then, for example, you talk about the Rangers. They also signed Mike Sullivan, former Penn here.
Yep, that's right. Big coaching move for them.
Going to restructure that team. They are a top caliber team. We got to see if all the pieces seem to come together this year. It's kind of a make or break right now for them. So right now, I like you just talked about. I think the Rangers take a step up. I think the Caps are a team on the East who would take a step back. Out west, I really think it's gonna be. Gosh, I don't know who out west. I'm really thinking. I think the West is kind of solidified, except for that maybe one wild card spot. I think it's still pretty open out west for one wild card spot versus the East. I think it's still pretty open for any of these teams can still really compete with each other to make it. I think that's a huge difference. You have a solid seven out west versus the East. You have a solid four, I would say five.
Wow. Okay, so I tend to agree. Like I think in the Western Conference you've got like a pack. It is a pack of teams that is very reliable in the regular season. Like Edmonton's going to win a bunch of hockey games.
Mhm.
Vegas is going to win a bunch of hockey games. Colorado is going to win a bunch of hockey games, etc. Dallas, of course, is going to win a bunch. All of these teams that we've seen go into the conference final over the last 5 6 years. Yes, what the Western Conference is gonna be determined by is does a team like Seattle, Calgary, or Anaheim displace the
Blues.
the Blues? Thank you. Uh, do they displace the Blues? Because that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about like that 7 8 spot. Utah, you could throw them in the mix too. Um, that's who we're talking about. Whereas in the East, we've got, I would say the Panthers, the Lightning, the Leafs, the Hurricanes, and I mean, you could say the Devils, but you guys have been very inconsistent over the last 3, 4
I
years.
wasn't including them.
What?
I wasn't including them. The only team from the Metropolitan I was putting up there was the Canes.
Yeah. So like I think you could I think the Devils are not a sure thing. Like I think they've been extremely like dicey and volatile over the last 3 years, and you know that better than anybody. So like after that though, Ottawa, are they gonna have an encore? Is Montreal gonna have an encore? Like
Hmm.
the the um the Capitals, like you mentioned, they kind of caught lightning in a bottle, I think, for a little bit, and then we saw it not materialize. So, and then I think in the East you also have like those teams we led the conversation talking with. Are the Bruins, are the Red Wings, are the Blue Jackets, are any of these teams that were kind of like in the mix before the trade deadline going to
Hmm.
get back to that point and maybe improve their roster this time rather than take away from it? That's in like that's the huge question is like the rest of the NHL, uh, there's so much parity in the league, but like every time we get to February and March now, it seems like you've got kind of this middle of the league that could kind of go either way. And this year, there's not going to be the benefit of having all these games. It's going to be kind of like last year. You're going to have a big break in February.
Correct.
And so we might not see these teams as they're currently constructed for a long time. Like, is there a team that you think is on like tank watch, like full tank watch? Like if things go bad for them in October, they are on Gavin McKenna watch already before Halloween.
That is tough. I mean, I don't. I'm still waiting. I really think it's gonna be Pittsburgh. I really think Pittsburgh.
Really? I
Yeah, I'm.
was just about to say that.
I'm pretty sure it's got to be Pittsburgh. You've got Carlson with that ugly contract of his. He's getting older. Crosby's getting older. He'll stay a pen. Malkin's up there in age. So is Russ. That team's an aging team, and some of those players, I respect the loyalty, but I think if you want to be able to be a Pens fan and see the bright future, you've got to move on from those guys and try to get something in return that's going to help you later on versus now. They tried it when they traded for Carlson, and it just hasn't panned out. So, and the other thing is, the only issue is I don't think anyone wants to take on some of those guys' contracts because they're ugly. They're ugly contracts to really take on for any team.
Yeah, I mean, I am I am of the opinion that I was about to say that and thought that was going to be my hot take, but I'll gladly let you have that. Um, yeah, they have a new coach. They could easily be on tank watch if they're not good by, Veterans Day, for example. Like if the first month of the year does not go well, like hey, the Bruins fired Monty on between like not it wasn't even Thanksgiving yet. So
No.
like if you're on fire your coach watch, perhaps the Bruins fired him. We don't have to relitigate this, but like they fired him because they thought, oh well, this roster's too good. We've invested too much money in it. We just need a new voice, and then we'll turn around. And they never really did. I mean, they were meddling for much of the year, and then completely crashed out.
Yeah.
And perhaps maybe if they had tanked the whole time, who knows what would have happened. But a team that I was thinking about that got super lucky at the draft lottery is the New York Islanders. They have this brand new arena. They have a relatively like young coach in Patrick Waugh, a relatively young uh, GM in Matthew Darche is I think how you say his name. He's not even 50 years old. He's already a GM. He was a former player. Waugh, of course, is a former player, one of the best goalies ever. They do have aging stars, kind of like the Penguins, if you want
Mhm.
to call them stars. Matthew Barzal, Bo Horvat, Kyle Palmieri, Anthony Duclair, Anders Lee. Like none of them are like on the right side of their careers, in my opinion. Maybe Horvat and Barzal still are, but like if they're not winning early, they've got pieces that they could deal, and they already have drafted really well with Matthew Schaefer, who's probably gonna. I mean, if he might start the year in the NHL. And then they had another first round pick whose name is escaping me, but like they picked at the top of the draft the last year, and if things aren't going well and they see Gavin McKenna on their billboard in the future, uh, I wouldn't be surprised if they go in full tank mode.
Another team I'll mention to throw in there would be out west would be Vancouver. I do think the Canucks are kind of at a situation here of things aren't gelling too well, and if they don't have success to start the year, I can see them starting to disband that team because of those contracts. Yes, I did just sign, I believe, Patterson to an extension,
I think
but
so too.
Demko's not getting younger. Quinn doesn't sound too happy to be there. So I'm just wondering how long, as we talked about last year, are they going to try to keep this band together? They just traded JT Miller last year too. So I'm just wondering, is this it? Is this the deal breaker year, or what's going to happen?
Well, well, on Vancouver, a couple of years ago, Demko was supposed to be the guy that we were like, oh my God, this guy's going to be awesome. And he just isn't durable. So not only is he not getting younger, I mean, nobody's getting younger, but he's just not durable and not reliable. And like they kind of, like we talked about in July, like re-upped Besser. They got Pedersen to stick around. They traded for Evander Kane. They re-signed Connor Garland. Like they've kind of put their chips on the table. Like we don't have to go through their. I think we did it on the last pod. Like
Yeah.
who are they gonna trade? So it's like if they go on, if they suck, like who who are they trading? Like who's taking these contracts? And
Well,
other
it's
than
kind
Quinn, like you're if they suck in the first 30 days to 40 days of the season, like you're gonna start to hear Quinn Hughes rumblings because like he's the only tradable contract on that team right now that people would want to take on. Like nobody's taking on Jake DeBrusk. I like Jake DeBrusk. Maybe a contender who has cap space will, but like I I don't see it. I don't see a team taking on anyone. So like Vancouver's kind of between a rock and a hard place. And if they go full tank, then that means Quinn Hughes is not on the roster in March. He might be on your roster, which I'm sure you would love.
I would love that.
Well, speaking of rosters that Quinn Hughes is on, do you want to trans? I feel like this is going to be the uh, bigger discussion of the night. Do you want to transform the discussion into a Olympic team building exercise?
Let's hear it.
All right. Well, I'm literally wearing my USA hat. So, Kyle, if you could do me a favor
Mhm.
and pull up that roster I sent you,
Let's see here.
and if I'm gonna say a name, and if you can tell me if they're on that roster I gave you, yes or no.
Okay.
How's that sound?
I think I have it. I think I left the chat a little early, so I might not have it.
Oh, okay. Let's get you that roster. I know this is great content, everybody. But actually, I'll give a background on this roster. So this is the U.S. Men's Olympic Orientation Camp roster. This was released last week by USA Hockey. It is not like the roster of the people who are on the team. It just simply means that they've been invited to orientation camp, probably somewhere in Minnesota or Illinois or you know Colorado Springs, somewhere like that, wherever the U.S. National Development Program has their, or USA Hockey has their headquarters. Maybe it's somewhere centrally located where they're all going to hang out, skate together, and people are going to start to build a team. Kind of like if you've seen the movie Miracle,
Yeah.
everyone shows up and they figure out who's going to be on the team. Now they won't announce the team probably until after Christmas, but this group is is the group that's so far been named to the preliminary roster. And so what I'm going to do, Kyle, is I'm going to say out some names that are in the Puckpedia database.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me if they're on the roster or not, and then we're going to build a team together,
Okay.
as if you and I have been put in charge. Okay, so Austin Matthews, I'm assuming is on the list.
Yep.
Eichel.
Yes, he is.
All right, I think it's in alphabetical order. Werenski,
Da, da, da.
defenseman.
Oh, good defenseman here.
Zach Werenski.
Yes, he is.
All right, Charlie McAvoy.
He is. Yes, he is.
All right, Adam Fox.
Yep.
Seth Jones.
Yes, he is.
Matthew Tkachuk is not on the list, but I'm adding him anyway
Yeah.
because of the injury situation he has going on. That's something we didn't talk about. Maybe we'll talk about it next time. Jake Gensel, I'm assuming, is on the list.
Yes, he is.
Dylan Larkin, I'm assuming, is on the list.
Yes.
Brock Faber.
Brock Faber is on that list. No, he's not on the list.
He isn't, not even as a defender.
Let's see. Faber, I'm blind here. No, he is. I found him.
Okay. Brady Tkachuk.
Yes.
Jake Sanderson should be on there as a defenseman. I remember.
Yes, he is.
JT Miller.
Yes, he is.
Jack Hughes.
Yes, he is.
John Carlson, defenseman.
John Carlson. He is not on the list.
Interesting. Jacob Trouba.
Truba is not on the list.
Interesting. Alex DeBrincat.
He is not on the list.
Cole Caulfield.
He's on the list.
Quinn Hughes, yes.
Yep, he's on it.
Matthew Nyes, yes. I think
United.
he is. I think I remember that.
I don't. Yes, he is. There he is.
Jason Robertson.
Yep.
Noah Hannafin, defenseman.
Noah Henson. No.
Okay,
Nope.
interesting. Brock Besser, right wing.
Brock Besser. I think I saw him before.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
No, he's not. There's another.
Interesting. Clayton
Brock.
Keller. He must be.
Yes, he is.
All right. Tage
They brought
Thompson. Tage Thompson definitely is.
Sage Thompson. Yes, he is.
Kyle Connor.
Kyle
Sure.
Connor. Of course he
Yep.
is.
I know Patrick Kane's on there because he's like the oldest guy on the list.
Yep, he's on there.
Um, Troy Terry.
Troy Terry. No, he's not on there.
Matt Boldy's on there, I think.
Matt Boldy. Yes, he is.
All right. Ryan McDonough, I believe, is on there. He's pretty old too. He's a defender.
I'm McDonough. Yes, he
I
is.
know Brady Skeggy's on there as a
Yep.
defender. Is Matty Beniers on there?
I don't see him on there.
No, he's not. Who don't I have? Okay, so there's a lot of guys I don't have. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
there's
different.
some. I think I'm. We have. So for the listeners, like we're building a huge. This is a huge roster, so we're gonna have some decisions to make. Matt Roy, is he on the list? Defenseman?
Matt Roy. No, he's not.
I'm going through here. Connor Garland is. I just saw him. Kyle Palmieri is, right?
No, he's not.
Interesting. Okay. Alex Tuck is. I saw him when I just looked. Logan Cooley, I saw him.
I don't think Logan Cooley's on here.
Yeah, I thought I saw him. Yeah. Yeah, he
Oh,
is.
there.
Yeah. So who I'm looking here. Who don't I have? Frank Nazek? Nazar. I cannot read. I'm blind.
Hard
So
to
I
read.
need Vinny Trocheck, I need Rust, and I need Nazar. I don't think any of those guys are making the team, but for the sake of this,
You gotta have him on there.
yep. So we're gonna go Trocheck. We're gonna go Nazar. We're gonna go. Who else do I need? Who else are my I've got Brian Rust. We need Brian Rust and we need Shane Pinto and we need Brock Nelson. Those are the only forwards I don't have.
I don't think any of those three will make it,
So
but
Kreider, Pinto,
yeah,
Rust, and Nelson. Yeah, I don't think so. We could probably make like a B team.
doing subs, alternates.
Yeah. Okay. So I have all my forwards. How am I on defensemen? Oh, I need Neil Pionk. I need Brett Pesci. Oh, Jacob Slavin. I had him, right?
Yeah,
I need Vlasic. I
classic.
need Luke Hughes. Oh, Hannafin was on the list. You told me he wasn't.
Yeah, there he is. Well, I can only see half the screen to blow it up. I
Yeah, I
can't.
know. It's so hard to see. Okay. So I'm just gonna go down here. Pionk is there. Slavin's there. Brett Pesci's there. Vlasic's there. All right, I think that's everybody. All right. And then goalies are easy. It's Hellebuck,
Mhm.
Swayman. We've talked about this a lot.
There's someone on this for goaltending or that should be considerations, but I won't mention the name yet.
Does his last name, is it an animal?
It is.
I was thinking the same thing. All right. So I think we'll just end the exercise here. That way we don't bore everyone to death. Okay. So we've got all the names added, and I'm gonna share my screen with you. That way I've never done this before. We've got this is gonna be this is gonna be new territory. Can you see my screen?
Gotta blow it up. Hold on. I can see it.
You're blowing it up, Vancouver style.
So what we got to come up with? We've got to have
We gotta basically cut. We've got four lines
12 forwards
plus two subs.
plus two subs,
Yeah.
six and three
Seven defensemen. I think they let you have 25 guys on the team, but you can't have more than three goalies. So we need 22 skaters and we need
three goalies.
three goalies.
Got it.
So off the top here, I'm gonna clean up my screen a little bit. All right. So off the top here, Kyle, we've got
We start.
assuming let's build a first line.
Okay.
So is Austin Matthews our first line center?
I put him a second line. I go Jack Eichel first line.
Okay, so Jack Eichel's our first line center. Who do we like the Kachuk brothers playing together?
Yes, I like that line in the Olympics. We're going to keep it the same.
Okay, so we're gonna have Eichel in between the Kachuk brothers. Do we like that as a top line? Assuming Matt is healthy.
I do.
All right. Second line, do we like Austin Matthews in the middle with Gensel on his left? I don't like Patrick Kane on the right. I'm gonna move him down.
I would move him all the way to the bottom. I'm not including him on this roster. I'll be honest here.
Yeah,
I
well,
would
we'll
actually,
get there.
I would
We'll get
actually,
there.
uh, it's a hot take. We're gonna go with Boldy to move up to line two
Okay, that's
because
a huge jump.
he played really well in the Olympics last year. I think he was
Or in the
leading.
Four Nations, yeah, he did play really well. He was probably their best wing.
Yeah, that's why I'm moving him up there.
Well, I'd say their best wing outside the Kachucks, but you know what I mean.
Left wing, I would potentially keep either Jake or I'd go with Kyle Connor.
Yeah. So like I'm probably putting Dylan Larkin as my three center. I'm
Yeah.
keeping him there. I'll keep I kind of want Tage Thompson as my second line right wing.
Okay.
I think Boldy on your third line with Larkin and Kyle Connor is actually a pretty good line.
Yeah.
So like if your second line is Gensel, Matthews, Tage Thompson, I think Tage Thompson should have been on the team last year. I think that was a huge whiff. Um, his scoring prowess will help them in an international tournament that's not on NHL ice, and he actually had the game-winning goal at the World Championships. So I think he's my second line right wing. But I like Boldy and I like Connor, like you said. They need in your middle six. And then Jack, I like Jack, but I don't like Jack down the middle.
I don't
And
like him. I like him as a wing.
yeah, in this tournament, I don't want Jack down the middle.
Who would you want as a center though? It's the question.
So yeah, now we're in a situation where we don't have a lot of centers after. Like we have really good top three centers, and then it's kind of a are we who was our fourth line center in last time was JT Miller, or
I,
maybe it was Larkin. I can't remember.
I think
I'm
it was
putting Are we putting JT on? Is he a center? Is he make or a wing in our roster? I mean, is he even making the team? Because right now, like, we're gonna have to cut some guys. I actually think Vinny Trocheck played a lot of center for us on the fourth line.
he
Like,
did.
he could be an option, but like, basically, we're either going Trocheck or Miller
Yeah. And then
because
as
we
a
don't
left?
have any other centers other than I don't think Nazar is making the team. Too young.
No,
Logan Cooley is an interesting take. He's really young though. Um,
I don't think he hasn't played and play well last year. So I don't know if I want to put him up there. Could you put Brian Rust at center? Would he make the team?
no, he's a wing, and I don't think he's gonna make the team. I don't know. This is hard because look at this. Look who's still over here on the left side. On the left side, we still have
Chris
Clayton
Carter
Keller, Cole
option.
Caulfield, Robertson, and Nyes. We only
Robin,
have a spot for one of them currently.
do you go Robinson? Do you go Knives? I guess that's the key question here.
On your fourth line, I would not put Robertson on your fourth line. I wouldn't put Caulfield on your fourth line. But the difference is I can't think about this like we're building an NHL team. We're building a team that
I
is
know.
going up against faster Euro style teams like the Czech Republic, or Czechia, excuse me, or Switzerland. It's or Germany, you know,
Does
teams that tend to
that
be quicker.
does that mean you take off JT
Sweden.
Age?
Well, no, I think you need Tage because I think Tage will dominate if he's in the right matchups because of his size.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, we should probably just cut Nazar right now and probably cut Shane Pinto.
I mean, you could probably cut Chris Kreider too.
I don't think Chris Cryer is giving us anything in a tournament like this at
I mean,
34 years old.
past the or Four Nations, but he didn't provide too much support.
Yep. I'm
Right.
also probably cutting Connor Garland.
I would also cut Patrick Kane, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm gonna save that. Okay, we're gonna save this. I have a take on Patrick Kane. We're sending. I think we're cutting. We're cutting. Are we cutting Rust too?
Yeah, I would cut
What are
him.
you getting out of Brian Rust at 33 in the Olympics? I don't know. I do think you need some veterans there. Like somebody over the age of 30 needs to be there.
But we do. We have Jake Etzel.
Okay, he is 30.
But we never said it had to be a forward. It could be a defenseman.
Sure, our defense does have better. Okay, I'm cutting. I think we're gonna cut Garland. I don't think we have too many other good wings. We didn't.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm cutting Rust. Logan Cooley will hold on to for a second. Over here, I'm probably okay. Miller or Trocheck. We can only keep one, I'd say. Who are you keeping? I know who I'm keeping, but this is a consensus.
I'll say Tocek. I think he did better. I think he performed a little bit better, so I'd keep him.
So we're cutting JT Miller.
We're cutting JT.
Yikes. All right. Bye.
Tough decision.
All right. So our fourth line center is Trocheck. I do actually think he did. I don't have the stats in front of me. I feel like he played better in the Four Nations than Miller did.
Mhm.
Honestly, I'm keeping on of these wings over here. I'm keeping I'm keeping Nyes.
Yeah, you have to keep Knives.
I and then down the middle, I'm probably sending Logan Cooley down. He'll have his time. He's just a little too young.
I would honestly probably keep Robinson and Alex. Those would be my two I would keep.
Alex Tuck, yeah, he's a little bit older.
But we need some veterancy.
All right, so we're cutting Logan Cooley. So now we've probably got to trim we got to trim two more forwards. You're going Kane. I'm probably keeping Clayton Keller.
Okay.
I want to keep Kane because I think Kane's your last Olympian from 2014 and 2010.
That no, we got to get some fresh blood in there. I think you got to take him out. You said age is a factor. Crosby's able to keep up. Kane has not been the same since that surgery.
All right, fair enough. All right, this pains me. Sending him down.
So I would see. Here's the hard part. I'm stuck between Cole, Clayton, and Jason. I can get rid of Alex. Alex can go. I think that was a
Well,
smart.
he can play center. Um, but yeah, I'm probably sending him down. So I actually think you can get by with those three as your reserves. I think that forward group's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a solid forward group. I think we got a solid team we put together for at least the forwards. And if we nailed this, this is would be
Oh,
phenomenal.
we forgot about Brock Nelson, with all due respect.
All due respect, send him down.
All right, now we've got defense.
Brett Pesci is a must. He must stay.
Okay, all right, slow down.
I'm sorry, Slavin needs to stay.
Okay,
Slavin,
so we're going. I think this is pretty straightforward. I think McAvoy, Werenski, yes. Hughes and Slavin, yes. Um, I'm going Neil Pionk, no. I'm
uh,
going Adam Fox did nothing for me.
let's put Seth Jones up there. I like the youth,
So I'm going, yeah. So Seth Jones,
even though he's older. He's
I
played
I know what you mean. I think Seth Jones played his way onto this team in the Stanley Cup playoffs last year.
well. Actually, let's put up Jake. I put Jake Sanders in there. He played pretty well during the last time the Four Nations. He played really well.
Yeah, yeah. I think Sanderson. I wouldn't start him, but
Yeah,
right now these six are your starters.
I mean, like I said, you can always. I think the only one you can really take. I mean, the only one you can really take out is Seth Jones. He's the only one who could potentially be replaceable. But like
You
everyone else,
you said Pepsi needs to stay.
I thought he did solid. I mean, he didn't make it. I don't think he was on the team last year.
I know, but when I brought up this list, you're like, he needs to stay.
Well, I did. I was looking at the wrong names. I was trying to find Slavin.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, these names are hard to keep track of. I think our top four is set. Quinn obviously isn't a third line D, but on this team he is.
He didn't
Um,
participate here in Four Nations, so it's hard to get a tell.
well, and I think he is slightly better suited for the
TD.
Olympic kind
Yes.
of game. Uh, I think I'm cutting Ryan McDonough. I think he's a little bit old.
Yeah, we need speed. We don't
I'm
need.
cutting Vlasic. Hannafin he was on Four Nations, right?
I believe so.
He was okay, but
You
I
can
I I
keep
don't
Pesci.
I didn't going back to Adam Fox for a second. I didn't think Adam Fox played that well in the Four
No.
Nations. I'm probably cutting Adam Fox. If you had to say Seth Jones or Adam Fox, I'm
Test.
going I'm
Well,
going Seth Jones based on the Stanley Cup Finals.
yeah.
Goodbye, Adam Fox.
We can cut Brett. We don't need him.
So Jake Sanderson. Brady. I'm probably cutting Brady, and maybe you have Hannafin be your, but you kind of need an extra right shot.
Yeah,
So maybe we go back here, find a right shot. I guess if I had to pick one of these guys, I'm picking Adam Fox as an alternate. Although we still need to trim the roster by two more guys. So actually do need to get rid of a we can only we need to get rid of a defenseman. We don't have room for him. So it's either Hannafin or Sanderson.
keeping Sanderson.
I think Sanderson earned it.
Yeah, he did. He played really well in the Four Nations when he got called up.
So now we just have to cut a goalie. So probably Decord.
Well, there's a goalie who should be on that list that's not on the list,
Sure.
but
So let's talk about that first. Hungry like the Dustin Wolf. Uh, I agree. I think he should have made the camp over Decord.
agreed. He should have made it. To be honest, I think you keep Wolf on that team. That's my hot take.
Somebody call the fire department.
Hot take, you put Wolf on that team. Um, Here's my issue. The other three goaltenders on there, who we are not, who isn't the court, all have, I hate to say it, their own little mental cases going on in their heads.
All right.
I'm
Let's let's dissect this a little bit because I think there's slight merit in what you're saying. So you would rather have a guy who is a second year player
Mhm.
over somebody who is won an Hart Trophy, won Vezinas, and one playoff series, which all three of those guys have done one of those three things. Dustin Wolf, as much as I like him, I love the player, is a second year player. To me, he's goalie four. Unless Swayman sucks, Connor gets hurt, or Ottinger gets hurt. Like, because I think Swayman has the inside track to be goalie three, as long as he plays relatively better than he played last
Yeah.
year, which should be expected. I think Decord, I would put Wolf over Decord, but I would not put Wolf over Hellebuck, Ottinger, Swayman. That's me. You say they're mental cases. I would say giving a 24-year-old the net in the Olympics, that that's how you develop a mental case.
I mean, my only concern is I think Swayman thinks he's all that good, and what we saw last year, he didn't quite shuttle the way. These are just some also thoughts I've heard from some Bruins fans.
Oh,
Um,
you won't hear me argue that.
I think he needs, if he's going to prove himself, this has to be the year, or he is putting himself on a bad pedestal. Connor Hellebuyck, I really think he doesn't show up in the clutch time as we've seen over time and time again. He hasn't performed to get what past the second round of the playoffs in his umpteenth career. Guess he has the Hart Trophy, but whoop de doo. Or Bezo, sorry. And then Jake Onder, yeah, he's been solid, but we saw him get dismantled every time he plays, for example, Edmonton. And guess what? Most of Edmonton players, some of the best players, don't play for aren't from the U.S. So there's his weakness right there. So, but out of all three games, he did play the best. So I could say Wolf can put himself up there. If he has a great year, I think he has a good chance to be knocking one of those three guys out. That's what I think. I think if he
Yeah,
has a
I think Swayman's got the inside track. I think Ottinger's a clear two, and I think Connor's a clear one. I get what you're saying about their playoff record, etc. But like, I at this point, like that would be a huge risk. Like it would be a huge risk. And Swayman, for all of his poor performance in 2024,
take you.
excuse me, he at the World Championships, Swayman was. I'm pulled up the stats while you were talking. against similar competition, but with a worse team behind him than the one we just made. He went 7-0 with a 921 save percentage and a 1.69 goals against and had two shutouts. Now, granted, that's because Otter and Hellebuck were in the playoffs, so they couldn't play. So he
Yeah.
was the starter. And I mean, like, I've seen what I need to see out of Swayman in big games, which is, I mean, he had 10 starts under his belt
Mhm.
in 2021, and Bruce Cassidy threw him into a game seven against or a game six against the Islanders. It was like, and then the following year got thrown into a must-win game four against the Hurricanes and didn't give the net back. And then, I think if we had the playoff performance out of Swayman in 23 that we got out of him in 24,
Yeah.
I think we win the Stanley Cup in 23. So it's like, I, that's how good of a team. We've seen what Swayman looks like with a good team in front of him. That Bruins team last year was also not a good team. So, like, this would be a good team. Now, hopefully, he doesn't need to play because either Ottinger or Hellebuck are good enough. I see what you're saying about Dustin Wolf. I think he should be on this training camp roster. The fact that Joey Decord is on before him is ridiculous. I think we can agree on that.
Oh, I can agree with that. I'm just saying we had a hot take in this, so someone had to throw something in there. I do
Yeah,
like his upcoming, um, but we'll see. It'll be interesting because I'm just also wondering if Russia will have a team that'll be allowed to play because a big
yep.
that brings up concern is does Team USA then the number three out of the big three?
Well, I'm gonna look this up. I don't know. They're banned, so they're not gonna be there
Okay.
as a team. So I just googled it. Everyone saw that because I still have my screen sharing. So they're not around. So we don't have to worry about them. I
That's
think
okay.
the roster we just made, assuming at least two out of these five goalies are good. Okay, we're not gonna worry about who. It feels like we disagree on that, so we're just gonna focus on what we do agree on. This team is good enough to win a gold medal.
Yeah,
I,
I mean prove that
I,
they can.
I think the huge X factor in this tournament is is twofold. Number one, what are some of the teams that we didn't see at the Four Nations look like? Like, what does the Czechia team look like? What about Switzerland or Germany? Like, are any of them good enough? Because we haven't seen NHL players at the Olympics in a very long time. It'll be 12 years.
Correct.
So, like, we haven't seen a full, like, throttle Olympic tournament in the middle of the season in a very long time. And I mean, I would say that that's a huge question mark is what do these other European teams that we haven't seen look like? The second thing would be what's Canada's goaltending situation look like? As much as we just talked about our own, like if they don't get repeat clutch performances out of Binnington, then there that was the only edge they had over the USA last time. Was
Well,
that in the championship game, he just played slightly better than Hellebuck. That's it.
correct. Yeah, I mean you
And
also
that's
got
the only edge.
we're going to be playing on Olympic ice too, not just regular NHL ice. So it's going
Right.
to be a much bigger rings with a lot you talked about. Having those young guys out there, speed is going to matter in these Olympics. And I think right now, Team USA has the best defense, the best defenseman out there. So I think they're strong in that category, goaltending as well. Forwards, you could probably say we're top two, top three. But just going to see what is going to be thrown at us. As you mentioned, a lot of these guys are young. This is some of their first Olympics for a lot of these guys.
It will be
Especially,
the first Olympics for everyone
so
on
I
that roster we made.
so I think the key and important part for Team USA, also I would say for coaching, is to make sure if you got guys who are hot, those are the guys you put out there. You've got to ride the hot hand. I think that's what killed them in the Four Nations. They weren't riding those hot hands with Boldy, Kyle Connors. They weren't riding those hot hands. They were still playing the Austin Matthews, just Brady Kachuk and Matthew
Well, I
Kachuk.
think you're still going to play Austin Matthews. I think
Oh, you
I
are.
don't mean to I don't mean to interrupt you, but like I agree. What killed them is they decided that Brock Nelson and Chris Kreider needed a ton of minutes.
Do you think going from what you saw, do you think Austin Matthews should be your captain for this upcoming Olympics?
We've talked about this. I think you give the C to Jack Eichel.
Yeah.
I do. I think you give the C to Eichel or one of the Kachucks. I mean,
I think you give it to either the
or
Kachucks
McAvoy.
or you give it to Slavin. I think Slavin potentially could be
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I know McAvoy. I think that was the other thing that screwed the USA in the Four Nations was that like McAvoy was hurt for the championship and Matthew Tkachuk was playing hurt, I think, right? He was playing hurt. And
They called
I
up
think
Jay come up to play for him.
yeah. So I think they had a little bit of a tough go of it. But that's the huge caveat that we didn't talk about was injuries. Like there could very well be an injury in this tournament that affects um that affects what we just built, But I think the USA is better equipped now than
Mhm.
they were certainly in 2014 or um to win a medal. And the 2010 team was an awesome team. Your boy Jamie Langenbrunner.
Hmm.
Um, we had just a he. I think he was the captain.
He was.
We had like a stacked team. It was an awesome team. A young Patrick Kane, Ryan Kessler, um, the Sabres goalie there.
Miller.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we had like it was a fun team, and we're just like in the Four Nations. We were a Canada gold medal overtime goal away from uh from winning that. So like I think the USA is so close that they just have to put their foot on the gas. And I think bringing Tage Thompson into this team,
Mhm.
bringing some more scoring into this team, putting Hughes on the wing, stuff like that, like I think that's going to help them. And um like I think another USA guy we didn't mention is Luke Hughes. He's a little young, but like going forward, like just having these guys in the building, even if they don't make the roster, means that in 4 years they're ready. They they're ready to maybe replace somebody else who's older or hurt in 4 years.
We'll see though. Luke has a chance of making it. He's one of the participants this year.
Yeah, we can see. I mean, and it's a good look for him. It's a good experience for these guys. For sure. Last question for you before we wrap up. Do you think the teams that played the Four Nations together will have an advantage or a disadvantage?
Ooh.
Meaning, like, do you think the fact that they played recently a year ago gives them an advantage because they have chemistry? Or do you think it's a disadvantage because they're going to think that they don't need to change much?
I don't think it's a real true disadvantage or advantage because that they don't get to do it so often to play together for their home nation. So I don't think it's an advantage for really any team. I mean, I think for the only disadvantage would be that teams who didn't play, you don't get to see their chemistry, so you have no idea who gels well together. So it's like close behind doors. But you still have to do your prelims, so you get to see how teams play against each other. But you never know. There's always going to be a sneaky team that gets up there. Like it's either Team Germany, Team Switzerland, whoever it might be, is always a team that seems to creep up, whether it's on the Team USA or Team Canada side. So you just never know. So I think it's not a true disadvantage, but everyone got to see them all play. So we'll see. I think though for this NHL season, those who don't make the Olympic teams for their respective countries will have an advantage going into the second half of the regular season versus those who make it.
Yeah, because, excuse me, the yachting. I'm sorry. The travel involved,
Mm,
it's a lot different than it was for the Four Nations. You're not just going to Montreal or Boston. You're going to Italy,
correct.
and the pomp and circumstance and everything in the middle of your season is a lot to take on. Um, any final thoughts before we wrap up? Excited for the season?
I'm excited. I'll get to go see the youngsters, a few of the young Bruins go play later in September. So I'll give you some feedback on how they look for the future. But besides,
James Higgins.
so I'm excited to see what the season brings for us.
Certainly.
Kind of nervous of what's going to happen with my Devils here, but hey, we're here for the ride.
That's right. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Or a long time, not a good time, depending on who you're a fan of. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Odd Man Rush. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate it. You can follow us on socials. That's Kyle Diesel. I'm Will Highland. This is Odd Man Rush. We'll see you in September, believe it or not.